Seattle is bracing tonight for a potentially record-breaking year of violent crime numbers. Last month saw a 125% spike in the city's homicide rate from June of 2020, which not exactly a peaceful time. Let's bring in KTTH Seattle Talk Radio host Jason Rantz for tonight's lightning round. Jason, great to see you. You're reporting on this. You talk about how bad the numbers are, and you say, will this be the Summer of Love, the sequel? How does the summer look like it's shaping up there in Seattle?
Well, right now, it's just not looking good. Last year, just for context, was a 26-year high homicide rate. And so going into this year, we're already trending higher than where we were last year. It's obviously not a good sign of things to come. And we're hearing the same thing from police officers saying the trend is clearly going in the wrong direction. We're not staffed to handle this. And we're seeing an alarming surge of gun violence. A lot of it is gang-related, though not all of it. A couple weeks ago, you and I had the conversation about the homeless person who's now accused of stabbing someone to death. So this is continuing, and the city isn't talking about it. They're not taking this seriously. We hear from cops, we hear from the police chief, but that's kind of it.
Well, I mean, they're on the front lines, and it's so many things. If they're understaffed, if the morale is down, if they don't feel like prosecutors are actually going to, prosecute charges against people that they do take the time to arrest, so many things working in that stew that are not a good thing. All right, on to our next situation, our next lightning round item. This is Toyota. Now, the Lincoln Project has gone after Toyota, basically linking them to white supremacy because their PAC gives to all kinds of people across the political spectrum, but that included people, Republicans, who objected to the Electoral College in 2020. So just to remind people about the Lincoln Project, this is how Fox News has summed up where they've been recently. It's a controversial group due to its vitriolic advertising style and bizarre sense of self-importance. They imploded earlier this year over multiple scandals. Its humiliating year has involved accusations of financial skullduggery and a homophobic and toxic work environment, as well as the decision to publish the private messages of its lone female co-founder, Jennifer Horn, in apparent retribution for talking to a reporter about the group's problems. But today they are now celebrating this victory, they say, getting Toyota to not give money anymore to any of the people who are on that list. My question is, are they going to also extend it back to 2016 when there were a number of Democrats who challenged the Electoral College results when President Trump had won? I mean, we're talking about people that you would know, like Maxine Waters and, Jamie Raskin and others. How far will this go with Toyota?
Yeah, my own congresswoman in Seattle, Pramila Jayapal, did the exact same thing. I mean, Toyota is run by a bunch of cowards, and they're doing this because they feel like they have to. They feel like the political pressure is going to be too much because the folks who are potential consumers will actually punish them for these things. Now, the Lincoln Project gets to do this, right? They have the right to go after any of these companies just because you're a bunch of grifters who have questionable morals. You still get to engage in this kind of stuff. I just wish they wouldn't, because at the end of the day, it's going to force Republicans to engage in the exact kind of strategy to combat this, to ensure that, look, if you're going to do it to us, then we're going to do it to you. There has to be some kind of mutually assured destruction here, or it's going to continue to go down this path that I think is just dangerous. We shouldn't be targeting any company with the slur of white supremacy or white nationalism. Can we stop? Has there ever been a word that used to mean something that used to really sting and used to really hurt because it was used in an appropriate way that no longer matters anymore? If everything is racist, if everything is white supremacist, well, then nothing is.
Yeah, but Toyota, they were worried about this. They put out a statement. It says in part, like, we know that some of our stakeholders were troubled about us giving money to these people. We are listening to them. We've decided to stop contributing to those members of Congress who contested the certification of certain states in the 2020 election. Again, no mention of 2016 and the Democrats who did it back then. But the Lincoln Project, and you're right, free speech, and they could put out these ads. They've got a very specific mission in what they're doing. But they're now saying as well, listen, we're glad that Toyota agreed with us. Let's talk about the rest of corporate America. So clearly, they feel like the strategy worked. It did with Toyota. They're going to keep doing it with other corporations.
Absolutely. And here's the problem that corporations have to figure out, or any business that is going to give in to this kind of bullying. I'm presuming that Toyota decided to donate to who they donated because they believe that those Congress members or senators hold values that could help them as a company. So you can't have it both ways. So you're either going to go down this path to try to make people like the folks who run the Lincoln Project happy, which you're never going to. You're never going to please them. You're never going to please the woke skulls. Or you can do what's in the best interest of your company in a moral way. And simply siding with the Lincoln Project here and pretending that doing any sort of financial contributions to some of these senators is somehow immoral or unethical or in support of sedition, you're just hurting yourself. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to course correct, because if they don't, they're going to suffer more than just some short-term political consequences.
Jason Rantz, always great to see you. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks, Shannon.